Hi, I'm Raquel, and this is Law Librarian Plans. Today, we continue with our SEISE series, our series about preparing our planners for 2026. And SEISE with an S is not a typo. So far, we have talked about selecting our planners, evaluating our planners. Today, I'm going to be talking about investing in our planners. Let's move past these slides very quickly. You can see these other videos on my channel. So let's talk about investing. Investing takes the evaluation you've done of your planners and turns it into concrete action so that you have what you need to use your planner effectively. Done in a timely way, you will be ready to hit the ground running with your planners on January 1st. Note that invest does not mean buy. It means that there's an investment of time, money, or both in order to get your planners ready for the next year. So let's talk about investing. The first step is to create a list. You're going to create a list by planner of what was missing or on your to-do list for the next year. As you write things into your list under each planner, if you have second thoughts about it, you're like, yeah, well, maybe I don't need that or something else, put a question mark next to it, but put it on the list. Trust me, it's better to have it on the list and then you can forget about your evaluation process for the meantime and not have to go back to that list. So put a question next to it. Now, be sure to include a brand name and item number if you're using a particular thing. Sometimes you won't remember that. In fact, most of the time you won't remember that. So you'll have to do a little bit of research to determine, what the brand is if you don't remember. And then once you have the brand, you can go to your past orders to see what you have ordered to identify the item. Then also note how many you need of each thing. So if it's something that you need daily, then you probably need 365, weekly 52, monthly 12, quarterly 4, or annually 1. Or you might need it in some other interval. For example, there is Sarah who does best laid plans, and she plans by quintiles. So she divides up her year by 5. So maybe you need 5 of something, or you need something bi-weekly, or you need something semi-monthly, that sort of thing. So just write the amount that you need. The next step will be to inventory your stash. So check your stash, and what you're looking for is what can you use as is, the way it came off from wherever it is, whether it's a washi roll or a sticker or whatever, what you can reuse. So, for example, if you think you need new covers, do you have covers that you can reuse? Are there tabs that you can reuse? Are there clear or decorative covers, discs, pockets, etc.? So, what can you reuse? What can you recycle? So, some people out there are fairly crafty and perhaps you need dividers, but you have old dividers that you saved because they were beautiful and you want to maybe use them again. So, this is a way where you can recycle something. How about repurposing? So perhaps you need a sticker for I'm trying to think what is a good example, and one is not coming to mind. But you need a sticker for X. And there's another sticker that could be used for X. It might not be the original idea you had. Perhaps that's what you want to use. Then you can save yourself some money, right? That sort of thing. Or they're inserts. So I'll give you an example. I have a planner coming that I'm going to use that has a chart that I will not use for the purpose that it was intended. So one of the things I'm thinking about is how can I repurpose that particular page to use it for something else that actually matters to me. That's what I mean by that. And be sure to count carefully. So what I mean by that is, for example, some of the stickers that I use, there are a ton of stickers on the page. There's 50, 60 stickers on the page. So count every single sticker, make sure you know how many you have, and then that way you'll know. Because if, for example, if it's something that I do weekly and I have more than 50 stickers, I have more than 52 stickers, I'm all set. I already have what I need. So count what you have carefully so that you know exactly how much you have and what you don't have. Next, you're going to choose your next action for what you need. So your next actions are all set, meaning you found enough materials in your stash to fill your needs. So you can put a check mark, an X, a line, whatever makes sense for you to mark that it's all set. You can do buy, you can DIY, you can print. Let me talk about these in turn. First, let me talk about printing. Keep in mind that printing can be expensive. So if you're going to print, you could print at home if you have a printer at home and whatever, or you're going to send it to a copy center. You want to make sure that you have that figure out exactly what you need to print and how much you have to print. If you're printing inserts that you have found online, um, sometimes the sellers will include different versions for different size planners. If they include only the 8.5 by 11 version, you can probably Google your planner and find the dimensions and even find how much you need to shrink that 8.5 by 11 printable to fit it exactly into your planner. So do that research to make sure that you know exactly what you need. Um, be sure to use reputable print shops that include instructions whenever possible, because there's nothing worse than having to do a double-sided thing and not knowing what to do. You will need to know, if you're going to print at home, how your printer works. If you're sending out the print job to a printing place, you're going to have to tell them exactly how to do it. So if you wanted, you know, uh, shrunken and flipped, and facing the long way, so portrait as opposed to landscape, that's going to be, that has to be clear in the instructions when you send something to be printed. Um, if you're printing at home, I recommend, or if you have a way to test print before you send it somewhere where you're going to pay money to print, do a test print on cheap paper to get a feel for the size of the item. So sometimes the percentage that they tell you to reduce something, the item is going to be too small, and you can afford to make it a little bit bigger, especially if you're printing stickers, for example, which are resizable. Print at home on black and white in the uh, least quality possible, so that you have a fairly pale but good view of exactly how something is going to look before you actually print in color, for example, or before you print on label paper or you send it to a print center, that sort of thing. Um, when it comes to cutting, measure twice and cut once. That's for building. That absolutely plays also into using your planner. There's nothing worse than having spent all this money on cutting, on printing, excuse me, and then cutting it wrong and then having to reprint. And I've been there and done that, which is why I'm telling you to be careful. When you're cutting, avoid distractions. I do a lot of things in front of the TV. If I'm cutting something, whether it's stickers, well, not stickers. If I'm cutting a printable, whether it's on a printable that I printed on paper or sticker paper, I don't do it while doing other things. I'm paying attention. I have marks on my cutting board that say exactly where I need to cut, so that I can make sure that I am actually, cutting it correctly. And if you're printing, make sure you load your printer correctly with the sticker paper facing the right way. Again, I've done that multiple times where I've loaded the paper, and there you're just, losing time because you have to reprint it. Um, but if you did something wrong and it's not savable, you're also wasting materials, and that's something you don't want to do. Now, how about buying? So for buying, what I recommend is you make a list by shop. Um, because your list is going to be by planner, then take that list and convert it into a list by shop. Go ahead and build your cart, just so that you get a sense of how much it's going to cost. Um, if you know that there are people who are affiliates there who have discount codes, go ahead and go find out who the affiliates were and and then get those discount codes. Also, research past sales. And to do that, I would say go to the Facebook groups, go to blogs, go to Instagram. Instagram is like probably the hardest way of doing it. Facebook is probably the easiest way. Go to groups that use that kind of thing, or just go to groups in general and just search the name of the vendor and the word sale. If you're interested in, say, Black Friday sales, Black Friday. So for example, I'm going to give you one of the vendors that I use, Live Love Posh, Black Friday sale. Search that and then see when they held their sale, more or less, to give you a sense of, and whether it was a 1 day sale or whether they did a weekend or whether they did multiple sales and the sales had different percentages. It's now guaranteed that they're going to do the same thing this year, but do your homework, do your research before. Now, what if you've done, actually, let me backtrack for a second. One thing you want to keep in mind about sales is, be mindful that when there are sales, the ship times are going to be longer. It's going to take longer for the shop to produce the item. Remember, these are small businesses that don't print. They print on demand. They don't print and have a stash necessarily of everything unless it's a sticker book, for example. So keep in mind, ship times are going to be longer, and there's the distinct possibility that something is going to go out of stock. So if it's something that you absolutely must have, so it's not a decorative item, but it's something you absolutely must have for the next year, and you're afraid of it going out of stock, I would say perhaps use an affiliate code and buy it that way as opposed to waiting for the big Black Friday sale, that sort of thing. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that if it's something custom, most shops will not do customs during sales because, again, they have so much of their volume of sales is so big that they turn off customs so that you have to then buy them some other time. Customs usually are not subject to affiliate codes or sales anyway. So if you're trying to save money on shipping, the reality is you're not going to be able to do it if you have custom items. Now, what if it's more than you want to spend? You've built your card and you're like, oh my God, this is $200, $300, whatever it is, right? Or it's $50. I don't have $50 to spend on all this stuff. What do I do? And I'm talking about the price after either an affiliate code or a sale. There's a couple of things you can do. Check buy trade sale groups in Facebook. Just shop with caution. There's also browser add-ons, although they don't work for most of the small shops that we're talking about here. So like Rakuten and stuff like that, they really don't work. But what they do is sometimes they will help you find affiliate codes, because if an affiliate code has been used many times, I know Capital One Shopping does that. It actually can find it, which is why sometimes they get turned off, those affiliate codes. But anyway, turn on your browser add-ons in case that you can make cash back or something like that, or save extra money. And shop with caution in the buy trade sale groups. Sorry, I got distracted there and started talking about something else. So that's if you're buying the browser add-ons, is if you're buying directly from the manufacturer. In the buy trade sale groups, shop with caution. I will not buy from somebody who says to Venmo them money. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're an honest person, but I don't want to get burnt. All right. I don't use Facebook Shop. I use PayPal. And unless it's something very, very small, we're talking $5 or less, I want you to, I'm going to use, not friends and family, whatever the other option is. That's not friends and family. I'm going to use the option that costs a little bit more money. And I just have to do that to protect myself. We all work very hard for our money. So check your tolerance, right? Sometimes something is such a great deal. So a $50 sticker book that's $5, I'd say, okay, do whatever it is. You can take your chance there. Although, keep in mind, if it sounds too good to be true, it often is. So that's another thing you want to watch for, right? If you know something is $50, $60, $70 and the person is offering it for $5, first of all, make sure that you have a real photo and not a stock photo that you're looking at. Preferably one that has their name and the date, so that you can see it, and pay attention to see if they've cross posted. All of these things are things that you want to pay attention to just in the off chance, because again, your money is too valuable and you really don't want to waste it on somebody who's going to scam you. Unfortunately, there are scammers in the planner community, just like there are everywhere else. Just shop cautiously. All right. So what if it's not in the trade sale group? And you've looked and you're like, I really cannot spend that much money on this, or you have multiple shops or whatever. Decide on what the shortest time frame is that you can afford and that still be ready for the beginning of the year. That could be 1 month, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. That's up to you. But then see, if you cut it in half, if you cut it in a quarter, in quarters, if you cut it in 12, is that going to bring the total amount down enough so that then you feel, okay, I can buy what I need and start the year off right. And then I can buy more as the year progresses. Yes, you will not take advantage of the sales, but honestly, if the sale is going to cost you to overspend too much, it's not worth it. It really is not worth it. All right. Now, the last thing is DIY. I've talked about printing. I've talked about buying. Now let's talk about DIY. Consider the real cost of DIY. DIY costs time, materials, and patience. If DIY is truly for you, then give yourself ample time to design what you need, or to buy the files or whatever, and research and buy what you need. Buy the materials. If you're printing, if you're doing printables of pages, right? Buy, good paper. Good paper, 28 pounds or 32 pounds. 32 pounds is similar to what the Happy Planner uses. So keep that in mind. Materials are going to cost money. 32-pound paper is not as cheap as regular printer paper, just FYI. And then enough time to actually make the things, right? Because sounds great. It's a great idea. But like, if you have to cut something on your Cricut, and it's a print and cut, then you're going to have to print it. Make sure you print it right. And then you have to cut it and so forth. So give yourself enough time so that you have things ready on time. And be sure to not just count on the upcoming breaks. So, for example, if you're a person who gets 2 or more days for Thanksgiving, that's a 4-day weekend. Don't count on 4 days. You're going to spend time on Thanksgiving break with your friends on Thanksgiving Day. For sure, you're not going to be doing it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you don't spend Thanksgiving with anybody and maybe you do have time. But if you have family, if you have friends, if you're going to do stuff with people, if you're going to do Black Friday shopping, whatever, you're not going to have 4 days. You're going to have at best maybe 2 days. So be realistic about how much time you actually have to DIY. And the last step is to track your progress. And what I mean by that is to check off items as you complete them. Or if you decide that you cannot buy everything for the year, write in pencil how much you bought so that when you pick this up again a month later, or 3 months later, or 6 months later, you know exactly what is left to be purchased. And you can keep updating that in pencil rather than in pen. Or you can use a friction pen, I suppose, but be sure that to track where you are and what still remains to be done. Now, I've talked for a long time. I'm going to now switch over to show you my planner, so how I am actually doing this. So come and join me for the next part of this video. Okay, now that I have introduced what the invest category means for preparing our planners, let's actually see this in action. I did not want to drive you insane by rewriting everything, but as you may recall, let's see if I have that over here. So this is when I did my evaluation. So I went through those pages and then I wrote it by each planner. So my goals planner, my catch-all, etc. And I wrote down what exactly it is I need and how many of them. And notice also that I included here the title and then the item number, because I looked up those item numbers. I didn't actually know them, and I didn't look these up. These are easy to find. The Planner Kate site I find a little bit hard to use sometimes, so I wrote down the numbers so that when I actually shop, I can actually do this a lot quicker than if I were trying to do this cold. So we're going to go through this list very quickly, but I want to show you like how I'm doing this. So, for example, for the weekly actions, I need 52, all right? There's 52 weeks in the year. So, I already know I have 40 of them because I have 8 months worth of weekly actions, and actually 8 months times 4 is 32. But I was buying 5 because I was gonna do like the months that have 5 weeks. But in reality, I actually really only need 4. So I need 4 weeks per month, and it ends up being 52. So what is the action here? The action here is to buy, and I need 12, and I'm gonna buy 12. So I'm gonna buy 5 per month. I mean, actually not 12. Anyway, I need to buy still 12. I'm going to write 12. I know it's 12 that I need. I'm not using a pencil because when I do it, I'm going to buy all of those together. Um, they are a little bit more expensive. I'm going to wait and buy them during the Planner Kate Black Friday sale. So I know that's when I'm going to get my best price on those. And because I'm not being picky, there's this number, there's many different designs for it. So because I'm not picky about which ones I'm going to use, as long as I can get one, the chances of my getting sold out on them are smaller. So I can wait for the sale there. Then the next thing is here the weekly reflections, and there is a a number here, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I'm getting very confused. Weekly reflections. Yeah, I think. Okay, so weekly reflections, I need 52, and these are on multiple sheets. So when I counted, and actually I have them here so I can show you. I'm not going to go through all of these, I promise, okay? So let me find, oh, they're not in here. I apologize because they're really not in here. So when I counted on the page, each page has, I believe, 12 of them or something like that, but I need 52, right? So if I were buying, um, if I did not have it at all, I would have to buy 5 sheets to cover it. However, I had 14 left, 14 of those little strips of the of whole weekly reflections thing. So because I had 14, right? And this is where the math is going to be 38. I really only needed 4. So there's not 13. There's fewer on the page. So I needed 4. So buy equals 4. Now this one I'm going to mark as done because this is an item that has sold out in previous sales. So this is when it helps, to know the company and know the items. And if I wait for that sale, I am not going to be able to get it on time. It's possible that it will be sold out and I won't have it. Now I do have 14, so I could have waited, but I figured um, the price, since I only needed 4, the price actually was okay. I could bear it. And I actually had points on Planner Kate's site, so I was able to use my points and save money on my order. Then the next thing is the monthly goals and reflection. And actually, that's not right. I do realize that is correct. Yes. So I have these matched these. This is where I'm getting totally confused. So I need 12 months. I actually have 10 of those because somehow I bought some without buying the weekly actions that go. I didn't buy enough weekly actions. So I need to buy 2. Okay. I'm going to go through these very quickly. The Maxi Life assessment, I need 4. I have 0. So I'm going to print 4. All right. The quarterly assessment, 4 has 0. And then annual assessment, I have 0. Buy equals 4. Buy equals 1. I mean, obviously, I don't have to do, I can just say buy if I have 0, but it helps my brain. Reset week goals pages, 4. I have 0. That's not true. It's because I'm missing a line here. Now I realize. I'm going to say 0. And I'm going to say DIY equals 4. I do have the stickers. This is why there's more stickers here, is because some of those I'm going to use for the weekly gold pages. Then week 1 to 52. So the week numbers, week 1, week 2, week 3. I need 1 because they all come in one sheet. I have 0. I'm going to buy equals 1, and I've already bought that. Again, something that sells out. And the week of, and this is the actual date, so December 29th through January whatever. I think that's the first, December 29th is the first week that appears in the planner. I need 2 because I use, and I put a star here. I only need 1 for the goals planner, but I also need 1 for my home planner, right? For my meal planner. So I put 2 here. I have 0. I need to buy 2. And that's also purchased. Again, it's something that sells out. Now, the next thing is icons. So I'm not going to go through all of these. As I said, I really am not going to go through all of these. I'm going to go through some examples. So meal planning icons from PK. So what I did was I pulled my PK binder. And these are the meal plan stickers. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 times 4 is 64. I have enough of them. So I don't even have to I don't have to count the number because I know I have enough. So I'm going to say I have 52. And the action is that, and it's done, right? The action is, there's no action I have to take. All right. And I'll do the same thing for all of these. Now, for the words, in the words here is to do PK. I don't have those. Actually, do I? I might. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I do. To do I actually have, I think. So I do, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 columns. I have what I need. So the to do, planner Kate, I have 52. Action is nothing. I'm done with that. Social, I had 0. I buy, and I bought one sheet because again, look how small these are. Buy is probably going to be about the same size. I'm going to be all set. I mean, not buy, social. So this is a slightly bigger thing. It's the same font, ample quantities. So I bought one, and that's actually done. And then remember, at 0 and habits, I had 0, and I said buy 1 and buy equals 1, and those are all set. These are things that again I had $30 worth of um credit, so I use that. Dot grid pages for the currently, and see here I put a question mark because I don't know if I want to do that or not. I need 12. I'm gonna say I have 12. I have tons of dot grid paper, so there's no action. Done. So that's how that works. Now let's keep going. I'm not going to do all of these, but again, I'm going to show you representative examples of how this plays out. So the next thing here says journal, days of the week, PK, date dots, PK. Notice here that I put a line. And the reason for that is that I don't use them every single week. Sometimes I use Mojo Jojo plans. Sometimes I use Kelva plan. Sometimes I use some other brand of things to decoratively date my pages. But I wanted to put it here because I'll show you. Oh, and I took them out of this book. I'm sorry, give me one sec. What I'm going to do there. So I actually put them in the Mojo Jojo sticker book. I love how huge this is, but anyway, so I'm going to show you what they are. So they are these things right here, right? And I actually have a separate list of these. These I'm going to buy during the sale. I need to count because I haven't counted yet, but I know what I'm looking for. And basically what I'm trying to do is to fill in the sets that I have. So for example, right here, I'm going to take this one out. So there's more numbers obviously than days of the week. So I bought an extra sheet. So I should be able to use, for example, the black ones go with everything. This color is this color here. I have 2 of them. So assuming that it's not the same week in 2 different planners, I should be able to use this twice and still have some stickers left over. So because I had used already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, I bought more. I have like less than half left. And that way I have enough to use with this. So this one I won't have to buy. Okay. That's how I'm figuring that one out. That's why I didn't put quantities. Now there are some that I don't have at all that I would like to have. I have an extra sheet of that one, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Actually, I can't show you because I don't have them. So for example, there's a rainbow set or 2 rainbow sets. I have those on my list. There is a very strong chance that these will sell out during the Black Friday sale because they usually do, but these are not critical because I don't use them every week. I don't have to put anything. So I'm going to make a list of them, and then I'm going to put them in my cart. And if I happen to catch them under the Black Friday sale, hooray! And if not, then I'm going to live. I did, however, buy the date dots that go with these. These 2 are 2 sets, similar colors. These I forgot. The date dots sold out on me when I bought these. So the date dots I already bought for this. So when I put it on the list, I'm not going to put this one because I'm all set. I already have what I need for that. So I'm only going to write the ones that I need something for, and those are the ones that I'm going to buy. All right. So that's why I use this funky thing here. And to be honest with you, here I put 312, and I'm gonna erase this here. This is part of the catch-all. So I'm gonna eliminate that, and I'm gonna also eliminate that. All right. And so anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put B C list. And I'm going to make a list of those. The other things that I need to buy, if I need to buy, and I skipped the rest of these. I'm pretty sure I have enough of all of those, but I'll do that later. Um, what was I going to say about that? I forgot what I was going to say. So I'm going to make a list of this because remember, this is the one that's kind of funky like that. So I may have a list. I will make a list in Apple Notes, and then I'm gonna copy that over, and I'm gonna put those in my cart. So or C cart, maybe I'll put it there, that sort of thing. So that's how that works out. Now let me talk about this one here, the habit trackers. This is another one where I'm gonna have to make a list because there's not a specific number I need. Yes, oh, I just broke a disc. Oh, how sad. I use these every week, so technically I do need 312, but sometimes I use ones that come in the book. The sticker book might have habit trackers, so I really don't know how many I'm gonna need. Instead, what I'm gonna do with that one is I'm gonna go through my book and I have all the colors here listed. I'm gonna go through these, and if I have enough for say 2 or 3 spreads, which I do here, I don't have to buy it. I'm good. Now I have some colors that I have almost completely used up. Let's see if I can find one of those. And of course I won't find that one now that I need. So those colors I'm gonna refill. Um, that's still pretty good. I'm trying to find one and I'm not finding one. So I think I'm in pretty good shape for most of these. I am gonna fill the colors that are very low. And then I have some colors that I missed. Somehow I missed them all together. I don't know why. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go through this list. I'm going to check off which ones I have. Is this a printable? I think this might have been a printable. So I'm going to check off which ones I have, and then whatever I don't have, I'm going to put them in my cart, and I'm going to get them. So again, it's one where I just won't know until I actually really inventory everything. So here I'm going to say B, C, list. And again, I'm going to put them in my cart so that when she has a sale, I can then check out pretty quickly. When you can do that. Oh, whoops. I put it in the wrong category. This goes over here. You get the idea. All right. Let's move on because I wanna go through a few more examples. So then here I have I need one of these. I have one of those. I'm gonna say no action. Check. I'm not going to count all the tiny little things. So here I'm going to count them and I'm going to mark them. Followers grid, I have 0. The action here is DIY, and that's another one where I have a question mark. So I'm going to leave that there. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I might decide to check it off and say, I don't need this. I don't want it. I don't have time. Whatever. Going here. I have to count all of those. I use this sticker every single day. I'll probably need to buy just maybe 2 sheets because they're tiny little stickers, and so there's many of them on the page. Blah blah blah. This is a DIY. I already marked it as a DIY. I have almost none of those, and I put 183, which is enough for the 6 months. However, I'm going to put a question mark here, and I'm going to put 0 because I may not be able to use those in my new planner. So that's a DIY, but it's a question mark because I don't know if I'm going to need them after all. And then printable dividers, because I hated the dividers in the planner I was going to use. I needed 12. I got my 12. And it's a print actually. So it's a buy/print and it's done. I actually set it all up and then decided on a different planner because the other planner is very beautiful. And so this is safe. I'm going to save this planner for next year. I still need everything that you see up here. Work planner. These I actually I'm going to put zeros in all of these, and here I'm just going to do this because it's 0 for all of them. And then this is buy. I'm not going to put the number because again, I know exactly what I'm buying. And let's say the B thing. And I actually ordered these today because these are all customs. Customs are not available during the sale. So again, I had a lot of money store credit, so I was able to buy things ahead of the sale. These I have to count. I lied. I am going to do them. I am going to go through all of it because I'm almost done. Here I had 0. I put a B, and this is done because I ordered that. Next, we have my Franklin Planner tabs, and for those, I need 16 top and bottom tabs, so 8 and 8. I actually have 16. I went through and looked, and I actually have more than 16 because I have some packages that I haven't even opened. So no action needed. That's done. Clear covers. I have the 2. No action needed. That's done. Reference binder. Clear covers. I think I have 2 of those too. I'm almost certain I do. Nothing there. Side tabs. I have 5 side tabs. I actually have 6. Put 6 here. Action. That's done. The home binder. Top tabs. I'm going to say I have 8 because I have those 4 packets of tabs, top, bottom tabs. I'm going to say nothing here. Top tabs, I know I have those. When I did my evaluation, I actually counted them. My work binder, I know I have the top tabs. And then bottom tabs, where I said bottom tabs here. I'm almost certain I have the bottom tabs, but I have to count that. I'm going to have to do that off screen. And last but not least, name decals. So I have 6 planners that leave my house. So those 6 planners need name decals. Actually, they don't leave the house. They're in the Franklin planner, but I do like to put the name decals. I have 0. And this is going to be a DIY. So there's that. So there you have it, friends. That was my whole process of investing in my planners for 2026. I have done some of my shopping already. I still have to finish inventorying a few of the tiny little stickers to see if I need any more. I'm going to build my cart, excuse me, and then I'll be ready for the various sales to wrap it up. If I find that it's too much, I will cut it back by half. So that's when I'll put, in pencil, um, half of them and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure for the tiny stickers in particular, I'm all set with tiny stickers. Some things like tabs, those are things that you need at the beginning of the year. So those are things I will definitely prioritize. If I have to balance out, make sure that I don't spend too much money, I'll prioritize those things. But I hope that this video has been useful to you. It's a little bit of a longer video. About half of my time was spent just talking at you. But I hope that this is a useful system for you that you can implement as you're getting ready your planner or your planners for 2026. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a great day. Bye.